How do we have a jury system when you have that much of a tribal, like, it's like putting a KKK member on the fucking, what do you call it, on the jury? You'd never do that.
Okay, no. Well, KKK members do end up on the jury. Asmon Gold, okay, they do. Especially historically. Okay, but KKK members, get this, Asmon, get it, not all members of the clan actually advertise their involvement in the clan. They keep, it's a secret. Okay, do you understand? Because the clan is a fraternal society. Okay, it is. A lot of people forget that. Okay, but that's why they have all there's like this weird hierarchy, right? And it's kind of like a meme, right? You have like the Grand Wizard at the top. There are other fucking titles as well. That's a fraternal society. Welcome back. I'm J-Star. Today we're watching Asmon Gold.
Cam footage of Carmelo Anthony, which is...
This video is called We Cannot Coexist with These People. Interesting.
It's like really crazy. I haven't seen exactly what happened or anything else, but this is nuts, man. At 2:15, you hear Carmelo crying like a baby. He put his hands on me. I didn't do nothing. He put his hands on me. Okay, let's watch it.
Hold on.
Can I watch this? Is this bloody? Is it going to be censored? I just don't want to watch something that's going to have gore in it and get in trouble. Can I watch this? It's not bloody. Okay, you see nothing? All right. Link, I'll check. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and just link it to you. Now I'll just play it. Zero gore. Okay, guys, got it. All right, let's watch it.
If somebody is treating the victim,
So this is the...
Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspect.
Oh, there he is.
They're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right.
Sheffield docket. Okay, all right. Let me watch this one first then. Got it.
Look here.
4-4, copy, I'll be in route.
Holy shit.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here.
4-4-7, clear.
I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay?
Uh-huh. Right?
Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect.
This is boring, Asmon.
It's not raining anymore?
Come on,
Clearly
say
wasn't.
something.
That's why his shirt's barely wet.
You can open up the channel.
Uh-oh.
Medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's me, right over there. And he comes to the victim there.
Holy shit. Cop slot? Well, this is the Carmelo Anthony body cam. It got released right whenever I ended my stream. Sure is awfully dry. Yeah.
So nothing on your person at all. Nothing. Mind if I reach in your pocket, stuff and all that? Do it personally, okay? Just to make sure. Okay. All right. The victim's gonna be underneath that tent over there, so okay. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
He crying? I told him not to, and then I stabbed him.
Victim, we're in the north end. They got staff there right
Uh-huh.
now.
Yeah. See, this is the problem. Let me let it finish. I'm gonna let it finish.
Sorry, whatever. Up to you. It's up to you. Let me do one more little check of you, okay? You don't mind reaching your pockets, anything like that, you good?
Yeah?
What's your name, man?
They're just putting him in the car right now.
Man,
Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head.
you put his hands on him and then you stabbed him. That's right.
I'll tell you what, lean this way, so you're not resting on your hands, okay? All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Carmelo?
Oh, he's got blood on his hands. I mean, yeah, that's usually what happens.
I don't know, man. Carmelo, C-A-R-A-K-A-R-M-E-L-O, Carmelo, what's your last name? A-N-T-H? Where are you going?
Yeah.
10th grade? You go to Emerson? Where do you go? Centennial, okay. I'm in 12th grade? Okay, that's the thing.
I was about to say, bro, you failed twice.
I haven't talked to him at all.
Holy shit. So let me pull the other ones up, right? So that was the original body cam right there. And let me see if I can pull these other ones. So this is the footage of it happening right here. I'm waiting to see it. What the fuck? So we just ran away? What the fuck? And then people are like, hey man, where are you going? Didn't you just stab somebody? What happened? So you can't really tell, like, so it's right there, right? I mean, it's just like, it's so hard to tell what happened, right? It's so far away. But let me go and find the other one here. We'll see if I can find the video. A soft push and then a stab happened at the 1 minute mark, okay? Let's see if I can find it. Okay?
Yeah, I can tell. It was a soft push. Yeah.
And then he just
Yeah, by the way,
immediately
in this video, you can barely see anything of what's happening. Like, it's grainy, it's far away. Okay, maybe you've seen the footage if you're watching this on YouTube, but, like, you can't tell what's happening.
Oh my god. Does anyone know? Yeah, I don't think you can really, I mean, you can't really tell. I mean, it's right there. It should be right there. But it's like, I mean, it's so grainy. I mean, you can see the pixels. What the fuck? Yeah, slow motion it. I really don't. I honestly have no idea, like, what this is. I really don't. What a fragile eagle.
And anyway, it doesn't matter how... It does not matter how hard he shoved him, right? Because he didn't shove him to the ground, most likely. He just pushed him. And then Carmelo stabbed him. And that is not right. Okay, it's not right. But, like, still... It's like, it's so obvious, it's not even really worth saying. You know, or it is worth saying, but, like, if you don't see it at this point, I don't know how saying it is going to convince you. If Carmelo were white, he wouldn't be serving 35 years over this. Right? He just wouldn't. This would be manslaughter. This would be nothing. You know, let's be so fucking for real. Because, it's tragic, right? It was a stupid, fucking, trivial, altercation that turned into something, tragic. And, you know, I think it's easy to see that Carmelo didn't mean for that to happen. That doesn't mean that he is, not responsible for the murder. Alright, that's not what I'm saying. But I think that 35 years is quite harsh, considering how the age of Carmelo, and like, the age of the person that was, you know, the victim. Like, these were two teenage boys. And, you know, anyway.
It's just
sad.
Let me see if I find it. Breaking news, stabbing Austin. Play close to the footage, I'm gonna play it twice. Austin push around the same moment, pulls a knife and stabs Austin. Seconds later, he runs from the scene. Okay, this is maybe a good... Yeah, then he stabbed and he ran away. I think that's what happened. You can't just stab somebody who pushes you. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, if somebody pushed him and it was just out of nowhere, I would have said, like, okay, this is, like, more reasonable, right? But the problem is that, like, this guy just stabbed somebody because he went into their tent, he wouldn't leave, he wouldn't do anything. I'm not alleged, I did it.
None of that shit fucking matters, man. It just doesn't. Like, yeah, that's why it happened. Okay, like, if you want to talk about, like, why this happened, okay, he was in the wrong tent, or whatever, it was raining, he went into a tent that belonged to the other school, okay, and then that got them into an argument, but, like, it just doesn't fucking matter, dude. He killed him because he pushed him, okay, Austin pushed Carmelo, Carmelo stabbed him, and he died. That's what fucking happened. It doesn't matter what stupid bullshit they were arguing over. It just doesn't.
What does he say?
Like, and conservatives will do this because they want to posture themselves as reasonable. They'll be like, oh, well, you know, if it had happened and, like, it was like this, then I would say this. And it's like, no, man. He killed him, and it doesn't fucking matter what they were arguing over, right? Like, it doesn't matter if he was in the wrong tent, right? He was a kid trying to get out of the rain. That's it. Stupid.
Alleged, I did it. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty, yeah, all right, well, probably my friend's breathing everywhere. What's this here? This is the...
Please go 911. What is the location of the emergency?
Uh-huh.
Hi, we're at Talking Ball Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay, do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our camp, but you need to get an ambulance right now.
They're on the way, okay? Give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray essential hoodie. He was black. He's standing on the side right now.
Did you kill him back?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
His blue sweatpants on and gone.
Okay,
Yeah.
what did he stab your friend with?
Holy shit.
I don't know. My friend's bleeding everywhere.
Oh my god.
Where was he stabbed at?
On the chest.
Uh-oh.
And do you still see the person that stabbed him, or did he leave?
It was Austin. Austin stabbed him instead. Okay, what did you say?
The person that stabbed him, is he still there? Do you still see him?
There's adults on him, I think. Yeah.
There's adults that are trying to keep him there?
Sorry, what?
The person that stabbed your
Jesus,
friend,
bro,
is he
like,
still
that's
there?
intense. Oh my god.
Okay, and there's a coach with him?
Holy shit.
Yeah, she's with him.
Okay. Do you know if he still has a weapon on him?
Why is he like former assistant
no
officer?
clue, but he's like-
Because they have to figure out whether, if like, you know, like, because they're asking questions like, is the guy there? Like, do they need to have a widespread search? Do they need to have just cops go to the specific area? Do they need to have a lot of cops if the guy has a weapon, or do they just need one cop if he doesn't have a weapon, right? Like, I mean, they have to ask these. It's logical. Think about this for a second. Think about this for 3 seconds. Like, how would you make this decision?
What?
You know, it's pretty easy to understand whenever you think about it, right?
Like, I mean, like, coaches have him, he can't hurt him.
Okay, when you say they have him, are they physically holding him down?
No, like, they're just holding him walking around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just an adult babysitter or an entire army? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it an adult babysitter or an entire army? Exactly.
What's your name?
Yeah.
What's your last name?
Oh my god. This is insane.
What's your last name?
This is like just more of a, I think I'm just getting information. Let me go and find the other ones too. Like, this is just fucking nuts, man. And yeah, actual knife used to murder Austin Metcalf. Okay, this is just a pretty simple, like, yeah. Many such examples, lots of knives like this. Yeah, definitely. She said it wasn't a deadly weapon.
Was it a switch? I don't know what he had. It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army. Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would argue the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon. And that's why.
Well, it sure seems like it is if it killed him, right?
It's bad.
If it was one of the little, like I don't know, like I do think that's why.
Well, that's not really why it's a deadly weapon, but. You know.
This is what I find to be really funny, is that people like her will say that the size of the weapon determines whether it's a deadly weapon or not, but whenever Renee Good got shot for trying to drive a car into a federal officer, well then the size of the car had no bearing on it because a car isn't a weapon. So there's actually no logical consistency with this at all. And remember that? This is literally zero.
To his coach and was like, but I don't think I heard him that bad. Was it a switch? I don't know what he had. It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool.
Right, okay, so yeah, this is not, they'll try to use whatever manipulative bullshit they can to dismiss it. Exactly, yes, that's exactly what they will do. And this is it. This isn't a deadly weapon.
Was it a switch? I don't know what he had. It was like,
man. And again, like they are defending him. Why are they defending him? Because they are black and he is black, and they see a similarity or some sort of commonality between them, which I think is really stupid. And the reason why it's stupid is that the majority of people that are victims.
No, I think that they're defending him because he's black, and because he's black, he got a harsher sentence than a white person would. So they are defending it. And, you know, I'll defend him as well, to an extent. I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna say that, it's reasonable to stab someone because they push you. That's insane, okay? But, I will maintain that his sentence, like many in America, especially for black people, was way too harsh. Okay, it was. Carmelo is basically a child, right? He's like 18, right? He's like a baby adult. You know, he shouldn't sit in prison for 35 years. That's crazy. What else?
People that get killed by black people are other black people. So why are you trying to run defense for somebody who could have stabbed you too? He could have, statistically, it's more likely that he would have killed another black person than anybody else. So I don't even know why they're defending this shit. It's so stupid. It's in group preference. Well, I think that what's happened is that a lot of people, oh, here we go. I guess I'm missing the part 4 where 4 white boys were giving Carmelo a beatdown. Again, everybody knew that isn't what happened, right? I mean, obviously that's not what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, 70 billions, advocate for the Anthony family. You can clearly see Carmelo Anthony being attacked. This is why we keep fighting until he's free. I think this is like way later on. I don't know. Where is it?
Except for me and other conservatives all the time.
This is where he gets savagely attacked and he has to defend himself with a knife. This must be it right here. Let's get ready and watch it. Here we go. Uh-oh. And then he just runs away. Yeah, it's super hard to see. I'm gonna be honest, like there's no real way you can know what happened. I mean, like I'm sorry, but like I really can't tell what's happening under that tent based off of this video, especially considering it's like right in the corner. Like clearly something happened, but I mean he was never ever like getting beaten up or anything like that. It clearly wasn't happening. So anyway, this is what I think it is, right? Is that you just have more instances of you know, basically people defending somebody because they're black, right? There's 20 witnesses about that, right? Why are you dwelling on a story? This is America. Fools are dropping every day. So I'll tell you the reason why I'm dwelling on the story. The reason why I'm dwelling on the story is it highlights a massive double standard and an inconsistency inside of primarily the African American community, where they enable and try to draw excuses for bad actors and criminals because of some perceived solidarity because of skin color. I think that this creates a perpetuating cycle that causes more and more people to be killed, not only in their communities, but in the country. And I'm trying to advocate for the fact that these people of all colors stop seeing themselves as black, white, or anything, and you start seeing yourself as number 1, an American, and number 2, more specifically, a potential victim. This guy could have stabbed you. So that's the big problem that I have, is that whenever you have a demographic in the country that is exhibiting own group preference by such an extreme degree, despite all pieces of evidence, data, and information completely indicating the opposite, I think you've got a really big problem. I think you've got a huge problem. And that's the reason why I'm talking about this, is that you can't have, like, how can we have a jury system when a black person has this implicit idea that they're never going to convict a black person? How do we have a jury system when you have that much of a tribal, like, it's like putting a KKK member on the fucking, what do you call it, on the jury? You'd never do that.
Okay, no, well, KKK members do end up on the jury. Asmon Gold, okay, they do. Especially historically. Okay, but KKK members get this, Asmon. Get this. That not all members of the clan actually advertise their involvement in the clan. They keep it's a secret. Okay, do you understand? Because the clan is a fraternal society. Okay, it is. A lot of people forget that. Okay, but that's why they have all there's like this weird hierarchy, right? And it's kind of like a meme, right? You have like the Grand Wizard at the top. There are other fucking titles as well. That's a fraternal society.
Because, like,
thing,
they just hate black people. They're going to convict them no matter what. Like, everybody agrees with that, right? It's like, okay, there's some guy that's black that got accused of something. This guy's part of the KKK. Should you put him on the jury? Of course not, because he's going to be biased. So what happens when you have another example of own group bias that's extremely strong that is affecting the way that people make decisions judicially? I think it's a really, really big issue, man. It's unfortunate they have a culture of needing to show force, make it sure that they need to react.
What is your evidence?
Well, the thing is that, and this is the reason why I think they should execute Carmelo Anthony. I think they should, and I think that we should execute a lot more people that act this way. There is a subset of basically third worldized, ideology that if you're disrespected, or if somebody puts you in a position that makes you angry or makes you feel lesser, that now you have to uphold your honor and your, your integrity or whatever you want to call it, and you have to kill or do whatever you can to maintain that respect. It's a respect culture. I think that's what it is, right? And like the fixation around needing to enforce respect with violence, I think needs to be literally killed. I think we need to literally kill anybody that wants to be violent based off of that idea. This is something that is simply not congruent in a first world Western country. If you want to do that, you need to go.
Yeah, so you are speculating on what maybe Carmelo or people that have committed similar crimes, I guess, what their internal machinations are, but it doesn't fucking matter what their internal machinations are, man. The inner machinations of their mind is an enigma, and it's also irrelevant. Okay, like motivation only matters as much as it can be determined that the perpetrator of a crime like murder planned it ahead of time, right? That's what fucking matters from a legal standpoint, right? Like, at the end of the day, Carmelo murdered Austin, okay, because Austin pushed him. And Austin pushed him because they were arguing, and they were arguing because Carmelo was in the wrong tent, apparently. And it's just silly. It is. Like, the consequences aren't, right? The murder itself isn't. That is really sad and really heavy. Okay, but like, they got in an argument over something fucking stupid, and that just shouldn't happen. And also, you're right that you're right in the very basic understanding of this situation that you shouldn't stab someone because they push you. Right, and so that is like a very American thing, right? This isn't fucking third world. This is like think about it. Think about it like this. Carmelo, in his mind, was standing his ground, okay? That's probably what was going on in his mind, okay? Austin put his hands on him, right? Pushed him. And so he defended himself. Now, I'm not saying that this is self-defense. It's not. Okay, he stabbed him because he pushed him. That's crazy. That's insane. But this is what being American-brained looks like. Okay, and what you might discover, if you look into it, is there are actually a lot of cases where a murder happens and the person that did the murder says it was self-defense, and the jury or the judge says no, it wasn't self-defense. And that's the thing. A lot of people in America, they don't understand self-defense other than that they have the right to do it, okay? But they don't know what the fuck it is. And so, it is, it's scary how common it is that people murder thinking that they have a right to do it, and then they find out that they did a murder, not a justified killing. You know, and but it is because it is drilled into our minds that if somebody attacks you, you have a right to defend yourself. And people don't know the nuance about, like, you know, bodily harm and the expectation of bodily harm, assault, and battery. Okay, people are not lawyers, right? You need to be a lawyer. Like, think about it like this, dude. We as Americans, we grow up being taught that if somebody attacks you, you can kill them. Okay, that's what we're told. Okay, and there is a legal scrutiny that comes with that whole process, right? But people are not lawyers. So if you're not a lawyer in this situation, and even if you are a lawyer, you know, and you're in a situation where you think maybe someone is trying to kill you and then you kill them, you don't know. You don't know. People murder all the time in this country because they're stupid. Because they don't know the law. Okay?
Zimbabwe. You need to go to.
It's not really that they're
like Afghanistan.
stupid.
You
It's
need to
more
go to
like
Somalia,
that they're,
and then you can do that. But
ignorant.
over here, we don't do things here like that, and I think that we need to completely get rid of it. And this is a problem, and it's not only black people that do this, right? This is not like, oh my God, black people are doing this. It's such a huge problem. Like, white people do this, like Hispanic people do this, other ethnicities do this constantly as well. But fundamentally, it's the same idea that disrespect cannot be tolerated, and any level of disrespect means that like, oh, the black boys have boundaries. Well, America has boundaries too, and if you can't respect other people's boundaries, then you go to jail. That's the way it is. So. We Italians did it for centuries. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know about Italians. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of you guys went to jail, right? I mean, like during the mob and everything like that, sure. So you see Iran close the strait. I saw that. They have no benefit of the doubt either. Well, yeah, of course, right? White people aren't normally hiding behind race when they do this stuff. And that's the problem. That's what makes this unique, right? Is that, when a white person does this, I think everybody just gets together and they say, wow, this is really bad. That person should go to jail. But the problem is that people inside of the black community, it seems like they have this idea that because we had slavery and because we had Jim Crow and all these things are legitimate, real, and big problems, or they were big problems, that now there's some sort of like a debt that society needs to pay to them by not holding them accountable for being violent or doing bad things. And this is an ideology. I think it's very evident that many people believe this or think this. And that's the big problem. That's the main issue here, right? My people think it's justified. Yeah, exactly. And so the way that you stop people thinking that it's justified is you have to literally show unrelenting, completely untamed aggression against it. You have to totally shut this down. And the way you do it is you take the people that act this way and you kill them in front of everybody else. And you say, this is what happens if you act this way. If you do this, if you behave this way, we will literally kill you in front of your friends and family. That is exactly how you handle these people. And there is no other way to do it. You can't reason with them. You can't talk to them. You can't explain it to them. You do that, and then that's it. So that's the way I see it. That's how I see you handle these people, right? Ruthless aggression. And that's how you build a safe society. And I also need to reiterate this, is that this is not something that I want to do. Nobody wants to do this. But when you can't reason with people and you can't get them to accept that, being disrespected is not a cause for violence, you can't have a person that acts that way. You can't have a person like that in society, period. And I think that once people realize that, the approach to these people will become a lot easier to do. They're like children, call it tough love. Yeah, it's a violent mentality that's extremely detrimental. That's what they did in Europe for a long time. Yeah, they're dangerous, getting rid of murderers. Yeah. And it's not just murderers, right? It's people that are like extremely violent in other ways too. It's basically just anybody who thinks that violence is, because this is the problem, right? Is that Carmelo Anthony, this is the habit that they do, right? And so one of the things that people that are violent like this do is that they go into a subway. And I think there's a lot of implicit fear that things like this create. So somebody goes into a subway and they're playing really loud music. This is a display of aggression and dominance. And I'll explain the reason how. The reason how it's a display of aggression and dominance is that nobody is telling them to turn it off because of the implicit threat that that person will cause some sort of bodily harm or could hurt them if you tried to hold them accountable. That's the reason why. It's antisocial behavior. It absolutely is. So that's the reason why they have it on speakerphone, is because they think that it's a soft way of expressing dominance in an area. And whenever you do have people try to tell you, like, hey, stop doing this, turn this off, many of them become aggressive because that's the game they're playing. They go into an area, they introduce a form of aggression by annoying everybody else, and then they use the fact that nobody is pushing back on it as a assumption that they...
He was sitting in a tent, man. Like, you're acting like he was rage baiting them. No, the fuck he wasn't. He was sitting in a fucking tent while it was raining.
They've dominated those people. And in my opinion, the only way to stop that is to take those people that act that way and dominate them to such a complete and absolute degree that they become functionally animals. And that's the only way that you can handle people that way. And anything that you do that's secondary to that or that's not that is a half measure. And everything needs to be done that way. You do. You have to, wait, almost exactly. So, and, is that missing a story? Well, no, that's really it. Manchester election coming soon? I'm just saying in general, aren't you afraid of getting banned on Twitch? Twitch saying things like kill them, just asking? Well, no, I mean, I think that everybody agrees that you should kill murderers and violent people that are like this, right? I mean, I think this is the way that we've always done things. Like, I'm not worried about getting, I'm not saying you should kill them, like, randomly, right? That's my entire thing thing that I'm advocating against, is that we have to do this judicially and through a legal system. That way, you don't have vigilante violence like Carmelo Anthony. That's the entire reason.
Such
so
an
I have no problem with saying
intellectual.
that, and I think this is the reason why it should be said. It's because people are too tolerant of this behavior, and I think in that tolerance, they've allowed
I
themselves to
think
be
that
colonized by
judicially
third world
we should
ideology,
kill
and also
people
terrorized by
because
third
it's
world ideology.
reasonable.
Like, I can play my speaker wherever I want. People can't tell me nothing. Okay, well, what happens when the police come in there and
Okay,
they grab your
well,
fucking
I
spear, they
don't
snatch it,
think
and they
it's
throw you in
fucking
jail? What
reasonable.
happens? And then you
Dumbass.
start arresting. Okay, then they tase you. Then you hit a police officer. Then they shoot you. Then you're dead. And that's the way it goes. W police. I'm just so tired of dealing with people that act this way. I am. And I think that we've dealt with this for a long time. And I want to bring stuff like that back. I do. Your city would be burned? No, it wouldn't. You just bring in the National Guard and shoot anybody that's burning anything. It's simple. What do you mean? Like, if you just if somebody tries to burn down a building, then just shoot the people burning the building down. Like, it's super easy. If there's another one that comes up, then, I mean, I think you have probably more than one bullet, don't you? Just shoot that one too. Like, this is not something that you can tolerate in a civilized society. We can't put up with this. There's no alternative mode for this. There's no tolerating this behavior. There's no accepting this behavior. There's no working around this behavior. There's either being oppressed by this behavior or oppressing this behavior. There is no live and let live. There is no coexist. You cannot coexist with these people because they want to dominate you. It's like you can't coexist with an alligator in your house or a tiger or a lion in your house. It's either you have to go or the lion has to go. And I think these people are the ones that should go. And that's it.
Yeah, man. By these people, by the way, he's talking about black people. You weren't picking up on that.